It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. You can follow me on Twitter at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our website is obnradio.com. And without any further delay, we will jump right into today's episode. I must give you fair warning. We won't cover on today's show our typical local high school and college concerns and events of the sporting world. Today we're going to focus on the NFL and its current challenges. Yes, it is Super Bowl week between the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals, but unfortunately there are some side stories, shall we say, that are affecting the entire process of Super Bowl festivities. We'll talk about all that and a lot more after we take this break. You listen to the Mike Prince Show right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
The voice of student athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Drivers and bicyclists both have the right to be on the road and travel safely. And when we're on the road together, safety is a shared responsibility. State law requires drivers to maintain at least 3 feet of clearance when passing bicyclists. And bicyclists should always ride with the direction of traffic and follow all traffic signals. It's safer. It's courteous. It's the law. A message from the Regional Planning Commission Pedestrian and Bicycle Program.
The Open Mic Broadcast Network would like to take this time to recognize its sponsors and underwriters: Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Prairie View Athletic Club, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Reflections Paint and Body Shop, Helping Hands Lawn Service, Diva Skin Conditioner, Purple Drip Daiquiri and Grill. For more information on how you can become an underwriter or a sponsor here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, our number to call is 832-213-8824. Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. As we mentioned, we're not going to touch much on the college scene on today, although my Panthers are somewhat struggling on the hardwood on both the men and women's side. Hopefully they can get things back on track. We do promise we'll get up to speed with Coach Van Pettaway in the world of the hardwood and giving you a early update. We do plan to broadcast the SWAC basketball tournament in March from Birmingham, Alabama. So stay tuned to the network for all of that and more that is coming here from the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Meanwhile, back to the topics at hand. We have 3 NFL topics that are worthy of discussion. And, of course, we kind of gave reference to the Super Bowl that will be taking place this week from Los Angeles, California, between the Rams and the Bengals. I have my, reservations on who I think will win and why. We'll probably discuss that a little later on throughout the week. However, normally that is the highlight of the entire week leading up to the Super Bowl. But there are 2 other stories that are truly taking the front seat. And of course, I'm talking about Brian Flores and his suit against the NFL and the alleged actions against Washington Commanders owner Daniel Snyder. Let's talk about that one first. It has been alleged not only recently but in times past that Daniel Snyder has not been, let's say, the ideal NFL owner on behaviors and modes of operation. And it's been brought back to the light with the latest allegations that he has inappropriately approached certain employees within his organization. And it has come to the point now that they are, let's say, picking this case back up to see exactly what is going on, who is and who isn't telling the truth. And it is really a convoluted mess. Now, if you ask majority of people who keep up with the NFL, Daniel Snyder's by far is considered one of the worst owners to ever own an NFL franchise. However, he is being protected, some would say, by the Billionaires Club. When I say the Billionaires Club, I'm talking that of NFL owners. They're wondering, how is it that he's able to keep a franchise with all of the bad business decisions that have been made throughout his ownership of the Washington Commanders now, formerly the Redskins and the football team. But they have questioned his integrity, shall we say, but yet he has still been able to maintain his ownership. And I have somewhat of a theory on it, and it kind of refers to birds of a feather flock together. And there are a lot of things. You can go back to the New England Patriots owner, Mr. Kraft, on his alleged inappropriate behaviors. And from my observation and just life's experience, you know what? A lot of these guys are somewhat in the same boat. And let's be honest, money is power, and when you have so much money, you feel like you can do and say any and everything that you want. And if you do get yourself in a jam, you can always buy your way out of it. And that has been the mode of operation for decades. This is nothing new under the sun. However, at some point, enough has to be enough. Now, how that will be laid out has yet to be discovered. And as they say, we will patiently wait to see what that outcome shall be. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's a problem with the NFL. And it's not just Daniel Snyder, but it's with the entire process in which they handle their business. And if we're going to be truthful about the matter, we are really in a situation to where these guys pretty much live in their own world. They do and say what they want, how they want. They have the hired hand in the Commissioner Goodell, who they're handsomely paying $65 million a year to pretty much be their puppet and do whatever they tell him to do. Now, can you put it all on Roger Goodell? No, you can't put it all on Roger Goodell, but you have to put it on ownership abroad. And when you look at it from that perspective, all of their hands are in the cookie jar. Now, it might not be on this particular subject matter, but they are involved and accountable one toward another to a certain degree. How will they rectify this has yet to be determined nor even figured out, but something is going to have to give. Don't know if it's going to be a major consequence as far as Snyder having to give up his ownership of the Washington Commanders, or will they just hit him on the wrist and say, Daniel, you have to behave and you have to operate a little bit better than what you've been doing. But nonetheless, we shall see what the end is going to be. And speaking of what the end is going to be, the hottest news of them all, at least from a racial matter, has to be that of Brian Flores. And let me first say this before I go any further. Brian Flores is a warrior. Brian Flores is a hero. Brian Flores is a leader. And I say all that to say that this man has single-handedly led a movement toward the Billionaires Club, knowing well what's at risk as far as his professional career of coaching football. He's been involved in the NFL for 18 years. He's seen a lot of things. He's made a lot of money. But at some point, enough has to be enough. And with Brian Flores taking this charge, this lead against a very well-known, well-documented challenge throughout the NFL. Let's be honest. Let's not stick our heads in the sand about this particular subject matter. There has always been some racial challenges. Used to be that blacks couldn't quarterback. They didn't have the mental capacity to know all the offensive schemes and terminologies of running an offense on an NFL professional level. That has been proven a myth. Then the coaching, the GMs, and no ownerships, not even a percentage of ownerships from the African American community. And I find that ironic when 73% of your organizations that are on the field are made up of African American descent. Now, with Flores stepping out in front, as we mentioned, he is jeopardizing his coaching future in the NFL. And with this latest movement, even the SWAC's own Grambling head football coach Hugh Jackson has commented that, yes, he could attest to being in some of the same situations that Flores has made mention of Dolphins owner of tanking games in reward of a $100,000 bonus per game that he loses. Wow. That alone could be related to betting, is definitely related to the integrity of the game, which also indicates that that ownership is in question, or should they still continue to be a part of the NFL. But once again, the problem is that the Billionaire Club, they protect one another. They cover for one another. How do you come to a solution when the bubble within the bubble is protected? Well, there are a couple of approaches that might sound unrealistic, but trust me, there would be a cause and effect. And number one, believe it or not, starts with us as consumers. It starts with us. And I'm not just talking about blacks. I'm talking about people who understand the overall problem that has been created by the NFL. Not only does it affect African Americans, it affects Native Americans, it affects all Americans because of the fact that this is simply not right. The next thing that could be done is that the players take matters into their own hand and they go on strike until a change has come. But we are talking about millions and billions of dollars that are floating into the hands of these young men who have never seen the likes of any money like that before. That is a situation to where when you come from an area of poverty and challenges and all of a sudden you're a millionaire overnight, it's hard to walk away from that. A third approach could be avoiding the sponsors that support the NFL. Now, a lot of this sounds like pie in the sky speaking. A lot of it is somebody saying, Michael, you're daydreaming, you don't know what you're talking about, and easier said than done. But with attitudes like that is why things are not getting done. If Brian Flores does not take the stance to say enough is enough, I'm drawing my line in the sand and let the chips fall where they may. And coincidentally, Flores has been mentioned to be one of the top 2 finalists for the Houston Texans job opening. And the Saints have said he is one of their finalists. We'll see how all of this pans out in the very near future. Meanwhile, there is still a football game to be played. And because that football game will be played, as they say, the show must go on. And with that being said, I have come to the point to where I must exit stage left. I want to encourage you to follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And our website, which will soon be under construction for redesign and look and feature on some things, of the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I must go. My time is far spent. But until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.